Hello everyone, Bart here. Now if you've seen my last video, then you might like to know what my next favorite movies are. Well, this is it right here. Now, I've already gone over these films before and you can check them out on my channel for more. So I'll just go over them briefly. And with that said, let's begin part 2 of my top 20 favorite movies. Number 10. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Now I know what you're thinking. Why don't you have Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Well, I do like that film, but for me, this one is more closer to the book and is directed by Tim Burton. What else is there? Sure, Johnny Depp's not the best Wonka, and moments with him are certainly pretty awkward, but the look is really creative, the music is really awesome, and overall, there's quite an epic feel to it. There are also some good characters and fun moments thrown in all around. It's certainly my favorite movie from one of the most visual directors of all. Number 9. The Lion King. Nothing says grand and epic like this movie, William Shakespeare's Hamlet set in the African Serengeti. But the way it's presented is more enjoyable and fun. The characters are pretty good, the animation is quite spectacular, the story is really well handled, and the music and songs are the biggest and most impressive I've ever heard. Not to mention memorable and catchy. It's also presented on such a big scale that it really pushes the epic levels to maximum. Quite powerful. But it does scale down at times too. It is a favorite film for everyone, and that includes me. And it's too epic to turn down. Number 8. The Land Before Time. Despite this film spawning so many sequels, games, and a TV show, it's still nice to know that the original is still as beloved as ever. Sure, it can get pretty cutesy from time to time, but that's part of its charm. Yet, there's also plenty of intense moments, making it the most dark and harsh of the Don Bluth films. And with that, the characters are really fun, the story is pretty simple, the animation is very good, and the end credits song is amazing. There's plenty of sad moments and happy moments, and overall, it's really charming and delightful. And it's my favorite Don Bluth film from the 80s. Number 7. The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is the ultimate of holiday crossovers, but there's more to it than that. It has really good characters, very impressive animation, fairly simple story, and music and songs that will never leave your head. It is a one-of-a-kind animated classic for many reasons. I watch it every Thanksgiving, and it's still great to hear those memorable songs and see these great characters every time. It's the holiday movie that can be watched any time, but for me, I do it in between Halloween and Christmas because it's perfect that way. And it is definitely one of the perfect animated films. Number 6. The Muppet Christmas Carol. The Muppets were always great when it comes to Christmas, and by putting them in one of the most classic of Christmas stories, it makes it all really irresistible. Kermit as Cratchit, Fozzie as Fezziwig, Piggy as Mrs. Cratchit, Gonzo as Charles Dickens, and Michael Caine as Scrooge. There are lots of great and memorable songs, lots of charming and heartfelt moments, and it is one of my favorite Christmas movies. It really is such a delightful movie, and I just love every minute of it. Oh, and by the way, Merry Christmas in July! Number 5. Beauty and the Beast. Out of all the Disney movies that were out there, specifically the animated ones, there's no denying that Beauty and the Beast is hands down the best of them. For me anyway. There's lots of fun and enjoyable characters, a nice story, great animation, and very memorable and lovable songs. And even some of the quotes are memorable. But since it's not as big as Lion King, it would almost come close. Yet, the way the film is presented makes it stand out more than Lion King, because of how straightforward and simple it all is. And who can blame that? It's the best Disney animated film, and it still is today. Number 4. Anastasia. Yeah, this is the third Bluth film I mentioned on this two-parter list. He's really that good. But in terms of which one's my favorite from him, it would be this one. The characters are really good, the story is pretty solid, the animation is really gorgeous, and the music and songs are wonderful. Even though Bloof had made many fails in the 90s for many people, this and Rockadoodle are the best from him in that decade. But this one's better because it's more flowing, more big, and just has lots of fun songs and moments. And though I do enjoy his work, this one is the best Don Bluth film. Number 3. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? There's no doubt that this is the best live-action animated movie, and even one of the greatest crossovers as well. It's got great characters, very impressive effects, a well-told mystery, memorable lines and moments. What else is there to say about it? Even though the film takes place in the 40s, there's just something about it that makes it a timeless classic. I don't know what it is, but it's in there. Regardless, the whole film is a unique ensemble of film noir and classic cartoons, and features a great collection of characters from that time. It's a real classic, and it's never forgotten. Number 2. Apollo 13. This is my favorite live-action movie, and was the first movie I reviewed, and it's quite an amazing look into the true story of the ill-fated flight to the moon. But while a couple of moments that didn't happen are added to make the film more entertaining, it still works because the cast pulled it off. And I just love the conversations these people have, and I love how the news simplifies what NASA and the crew are doing when they're talking about the same thing, and I love the effects and the music. All in all, it's a great movie with well-casted actors, a well-made pace, and believable situations, no matter how far it goes. And my number 1 favorite movie is Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. It was really quite hard to pick which one I love more, Apollo 13 or this, but I decided to go with this mainly because it fills me with such joy and excitement. It's the movie that really, in my opinion, captures and follows Dr. Seuss's book, look, and feel. And it features fun characters, good story, great animation, and really creating some of the best moments out there, to a bigger scale than in the book or the Chuck Jones special. And I can say that this is my favorite Dr. Seuss film, animated film, and even my number 1 favorite movie. And that is my top 20 list of my favorite movies. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and until next week for a new video. Well, this is the occasion. Yeah, this is the occasional movie review I'm going to be doing. And keep in mind that I do know the controversy behind it all, and I'm not going to bother addressing it in this review, because I just don't want to get into any arguments about it. So, without further ado, let's begin this review, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, despite not knowing what to think of the trailers, and just for curiosity's sake, I decided to take a look at the Ghostbusters reboot or remake or whatever it's called, which is called Ghostbusters, or advertised as Ghostbusters Answer the Call, based on the 1984 original movie directed by Ivan Reitman and written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. The story is about 4 females: paranormal researcher Abby Yates, physicist Ernie Gilbert, engineer Julian Holtzman, and New Yorker Patty Tolan become Ghostbusters and catch ghosts, not only to study them, but to prove that ghosts exist. Despite the mayor and his associates trying to keep their actions as a hoax, and them as frauds. And in the meantime, a man named Rowan North is trying to bring forth an apocalypse through film science mumbo-jumbo that's quite hard to get. Director Paul Feig has done a fairly decent job at remaking or rebooting the Ghostbusters, and altogether, it's just an okay movie. The characters, the story, the effects, they're all okay. But the main issue is that the comedy is pretty weak. Okay, only 1 or 2 jokes made me laugh, and a couple gave me a smile, but that's about it. Though there is some saving grace with the film in that the effects, while not impressive, are pretty colorful and have nice designs. And the cameos from the original movie playing different characters: Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Ernie Hudson, and Annie Potts. Not to mention Slimer and Stay Puft make an appearance. But aside from those, there's nothing much else to it. Even though the story isn't a big rehash of the first or second film, despite the references to both films, I still think the film would have been better if the humor was more amped up and the effects were given more time. And if I ranked this among the previous films, this would be number 3, with Ghostbusters 2 at 2 and Ghostbusters 84 at 1. So today I'm giving this movie a rating of 2.5 mixed stars. So, that's it. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Facebook or Twitter, and tune in next week for a new video, and take care.